Wait, what's going on here?
We're looking for the night guard.
He's the night guard!
I think I speak for myself and others when I say that Five Nights at Freddy's is one of the most ingenuitous and genius horror franchises to ever be made. It is quite literally the MCU of indie horror games. This game has 10 spin-offs, a movie, and countless books. And today we're going to be talking about one of those things, but we at least have to agree on one thing. The vastness of this community and the scale of this game is insane. It's truly insane. Five Nights at Freddy's is as of this month, a 10-year-old indie horror franchise, stemming all the way back to the era of Outlast, Amnesia, and Slender, a time period where horror games were seen as either really good or really bad. Sure enough, Five Nights at Freddy's came in and completely changed the game with its ingenuity, its simplicity, and its overall fear factor. Year after year, game after game, audiences, myself included, all came together to say, well, one thing.
What the?
It was a game that gained instant fans. Stemming from YouTubers playing it, to younger audiences playing it, to theories, it was the ultimate franchise. Not only because of its amazing and riveting gameplay, don't get me wrong. Let's all be honest here. It's a very well-made game. Even to this day, people like me play it. But I sure do very much enjoy the sitting in a room simulator and keep things away from room simulator. Let's completely be honest, Five Nights at Freddy's really peaked with VR, and that's my opinion. Sure enough, the game exploded, and kids, teens, and even young adults, very into, 30-year-olds, fell in love with the four, quote, kooky characters we had, Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, and Foxy, to the point where Warner Bros. Decided to pick up a Five Nights at Freddy's film. And the information of a film was kept on hold, literally until the age of extinction. No, I'm not talking about dinosaurs, I'm talking about Transformers: Age of Extinction, released the same year. FNAF fans waited eons, it felt, to get a glimpse at a Five Nights at Freddy's movie. We speculated, oh, Markiplier's gonna be in it, oh, MatPat's gonna be in it, Corey Kenshin! Ironic, isn't it? And then we finally reached a peak on YouTube, which still exists even to this day, and of course I'm quite fortunate of that, considering I voice in a ton of them, and I am in fact going to be in Meme Bears The Restless series as Foxy the Pirate. Please check that out. Hashtag not sponsored, but hashtag ad. Instead, we got glimpses of the FNAF movie. Also, no, it's not what you see on the screen right now, you're an idiot. I'm talking about the real FNAF movies.
Here, unlock this door! God damn it!
La 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 la. okay?
I'm truly sorry. I forgot to put a content warning on that last tape. Truly disturbing and horrifying stuff, but it just goes to show how creative we as an audience can be on how something so terrible and horrifying this lore truly can be. It's insane what we are given with so little context, and we thank Scott for that. Jokes aside, I genuinely blame Megan for this movie. I'm not saying that the FNAF movie was going to be a hyper gore fest that was full of screaming, agonizing, murdered children, and we got to find out their backstories and their lore, and there was complexities and philosophies, and oh, how I wish the FNAF movie was rated R. It's none of that. Okay, it's all of that. But genuinely, what do you expect? FNAF is genuinely like one of the most perplexed horror games ever. The legitimate plot of this game that is confirmed to us. Reminder, 90% of FNAF lore isn't even confirmed. It's just us being made fun of at this point. MatPat knows it all now, but makes no good now. Kids murdered. Bodies stuffed in suits. Weird purple fellow fucking killed them. Alright, that's the lore. And people have run with that. This movie doesn't feel like the horrific experience of children being murdered. Oh, Nick, you can't do that in a movie. You can't have a movie all about horror, murdered children, and there's one guy that did it, and he's hiding their bodies places, and it's perplexed, and it's content-filled, and it's lore-bent, and it's a little supernatural. You can't do that. Blumhouse would never. Black Phone came out, what, fucking 2 years ago? And it's a better FNAF movie? I'm sorry, but it's true. Reminder, this video is about me making a point, and I really like this movie. When I saw this movie, I gave it a 9 out of 10, which if I'm looking at my silly little account that everyone likes to bully me for, the other films I have given a 9 out of 10, let's see. Smile, Halloween Kills, Candyman, It Chapter 2, Doctor Sleep, Infinity Pool, Scream 6, The Boy and the Heron, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, Us, The Taking of Deborah Logan. Why did I give the film that high of a rating? I don't remember anything about it. The Lighthouse. Like, I gave this movie the same standards that I gave other popular horror films and popular other films that I enjoy. Films that I see as near, quote, perfect. Me, as a viewer, thinks there could have been nothing else about this film that was perfect. I genuinely thought this film was perfect when it came out. I had one of the greatest theater experiences with this film. We all cheered, we all clapped, and we all had the time of our lives. It was one of the best theater experiences I've ever had with a movie. I have since seen the film 3 times since I saw it in theaters, and I saw it twice in the same day. When it came out, I saw it at theaters, and then I went home to watch it on Peacock because I was so like, dude, it's the FNAF movie. It's taken 8 years for this movie to come out. It's finally here. I watched it a couple months after that. This movie's only been out for like 6 months. Alright. So that's why I'm talking about this, alright? That's the main reason. I'm not saying the movie's bad. I'm just trying to make a couple of points. And we're 9 minutes in, and I know you're very much not willing to hear what I'm saying. We are blinded by nostalgia. We have complete bias. And what is the other title I have for this movie? Worse Than You Remember. This film is not that great. It's not. It's I guess, a FNAF movie. And that's really unfortunate to me that's what we call it. Oh, what do you expect? It's a FNAF movie. I expect not the murder of children, the unneedless gore, or the agonizing screams of a Springlock scene, but clearly that's what a lot of other fans want if you even look this movie up. Half the time when you Google this movie, it's the Springlock scene, but rated R. I love this movie, and I want to love this movie, but it doesn't feel like the FNAF movie. It feels like, genuinely, they watched a bunch of Markiplier videos, watched game theories, looked at the poster for FNAF, looked at TikTok and all the FNAF memes and fanfics people have been coming up with since 2014, and said, yeah, we're cooking. But
It's just a theory.
and the goal of this video is not to take away from you. I'm just genuinely trying to make a point that this film doesn't satisfy me as a FNAF fan. And when it came out, I was completely biased because I didn't know what to think of it. I didn't know what to expect. When you look into a movie, any movie, no matter what movie you go into, the moment you're in your seat watching your movie, you're full of suspense, you're full of dread, you're full of anxiety, either good or bad. And it's not because the movie's bad or the movie's scary, it's just because you don't know how it's going to end. You don't know how it's going to play out, so you're constantly picking at your thoughts, trying to figure out what exactly you're watching and where this is going. So, when we get to the scene,
I always come back.
you know, we're gonna be a little biased. The whole reason they had to say it, you know? And so many people, so many critics, and so many people who know nothing about FNAF, even fans of FNAF, are like, why did he say that? Why does he say, I always come back? It makes no sense for the reason of the film. But one, as someone who looks into movies a lot, and two, as a FNAF fan, he had to. Let me also preference, I know we're this late in the game, and you've already clicked off this video already has like 1 million dislikes. Matthew Lillard carries this movie as he carries any film. I want to meet him. He is my idol, he is my favorite actor, and he is such a sweet man. And he doesn't take away any from this movie. He actually carries this movie a whole lot, just like Josh Hutcherson. The cast is great. There's a lot of iffy moments with the acting, but again, this movie tries so much. Funny enough, though, not only does this film play into the nostalgia of a grown FNAF fan, let's face it, if you're a big FNAF fan and you're watching this movie, you probably are my age, like an adult now, because you waited so long for this film to come out. If you're an OG FNAF fan, you're an adult now. It's been 10 years. Unless you were born when FNAF came out and straight out the womb you were like, ah! You know, I don't know your life. But I know mine and many other people around me. My friend and I, when this movie ended, said this was better than Across the Spider-Verse because of the sheer weight and like happiness we felt when we saw this film. I watched this film literally 12 hours ago, and I was on my phone for a good half of it. That is not... that is a fall. That is a fall completely. And let me also preference with the nostalgia thing. The moment Matthew Lillard was cast as William Afton, we lost our fucking minds. I didn't lose my mind. Yes, you did. He's perfect casting for William Afton. He's the best casting for William Afton. He's the only cast for William Afton. You know why? Do you really, really know why?
Yeah, you're gonna love this one. It's a scream, baby. Hold on a sec. I'll be right back. Gotta have a sequel. I'm feeling woozy here.
Alright, cheap shot. He, obviously, you know, Matthew Lillard is a one-of-a-kind actor. I genuinely believe that. I love that man to death. And they would never, ever stoop as low as that to get people in the seats. They wouldn't put anything relating to Ghostface in the trailer. They're not making it easy. They're not. Look, the point I am making is that this is a good movie. But where credit is due, it is not a horror movie. And that's kind of why I made the point that Megan kind of killed that for Blumhouse. And I don't say that as a bad thing. A lot of people like Megan. Megan's a fun movie, and so is this. But Megan, this, Imaginary, Exorcist Believer, it's quite a steep drop from films like the Halloween trilogy, which, by the way, I like those films for a specific reason. If you want to know it, I'll make a video about it. Black Phone, the Purge movies, you know, they're fucking Whiplash. There are a lot of, like, amazing Blumhouse movies. But since Megan, it's been a steep drop. I dubbed these movies TikTok movies. I literally, while this first half of the video was rendering, because I hit the goddamn voice line exceed button, I was watching a movie about Jason Statham getting in fights all the time and it rubbing off on his kid because he teaches her to defend herself. Besides the point, it is a TikTok movie. When you're scrolling on your phone and you're trying to just doze off on TikTok, you come across a clip from a movie. It catches your eye, then the clip ends abruptly. So you go to another clip, and then another clip, and then another clip, so on and so forth, until the creator gives up on trying to show the entire movie on TikTok, and they just move on to another movie. And you never go and watch the rest of the movie. The movies like that are Kung Fu Panda 4, Megan, Five Nights at Freddy's, probably Imaginary. I know Trolls 3 was one of them. It's something that people get away with, and it's not great. It's horrible, in fact, but at the same time, we fall into it. Hell, Megan was trending on TikTok because of the silly, goofy little dance, and then Megan gained a following. Then the movie broke records, but I guarantee you, people who love that movie then probably will watch that movie now and be like, oh. I've never stated that this was a poorly made movie. I'm stating how much we're blinded by nostalgia and our personal bias, how FNAF fans are so crazy. I guarantee you, if I posted this video to Twitter, it would probably be ripped to shreds. And you know what? I genuinely hope it gets posted. I hope this video gets the traction it deserves, not because I'm trying to ruin a fandom, but because I just want to express my opinion. I'm a movie lover. I've done 3 videos like this. I did one for Nope and Smile. This is the 3rd one. I counted Late Night with the Devil, but it doesn't really count as that. That was just a review, which is all these are. They're my opinion. I would quickly also want to take the time to thank Emma Tammy, the director, Jason Blum, for allowing this movie to even happen, as well as everyone behind it. Like I said, I love so much about this movie, and they worked so hard on it to give us a practical horror movie. This is the most indie horror film, like PG-13 FNAF movie we could have gotten, and I'm not upset by it. I'm genuinely extremely happy by it. It's just, looking back on it, it's not a great movie. It's a good FNAF fan movie. Like a movie for fans. It's a good fan service movie. But overall, it's not what we want. Even Scott, after reading the reviews, like 2 weeks after this movie came out, he said, I am rewriting the FNAF 2 script, and FNAF 2 is going to be a lot scarier. And they're already currently putting it together, and I'm so excited for that movie. I'm going to buy the poster, the steelbook. I'm going to buy every bit of merchandise for that movie because I love FNAF. I do. But this movie gave us what we wanted.
I always come back.
Some people say that, but you know, it's just a theory.
Just as much as it gave us stuff that we didn't really want.
They wouldn't stop tickling me. They said I was gonna die.
And I already can understand what people are about to say. The fort building scene is because they're kids and we get to see them be kids and they never got to experience being kids. And I get that, but this scene is literally 15 minutes after these kids massacre like 6 people in brutal deaths. But they're trying to lure Abby to become one of them. And it's like, dude, I know why. That doesn't mean it's good. I understand what the movie's trying to do. It doesn't mean I like it. I can go watch an MCU movie. Alright, weird comparison, but hear me out, right? Let's say I go watch Beyond the Spider-Verse. And Tobey Maguire shows up. And he says, "Look, kid, or with great power comes great responsibility, Miles. And you gotta let your do I just gotta sit there and be like, well, because this is what I wanted, it's cool. Like, I'm supposed to like it. I'm not supposed to have any other opinions on it because I like it. You know, because they gave me what I wanted. That means, you know, it contradicts itself. Like, I'm allowed to not like something, and it doesn't make sense in the story. This story flip-flops between being about the dead kids to being about Mike dreaming 90% of the fucking movie. He is asleep 90% of this movie. Oh, but he's trying to find his dead brother in his dreams and find out new ways to how he could have fixed it. Because, you know, you have reoccurring dreams every time you take pills and look at a fucking poster at the top of your ceiling, you know? The film clarifies that by saying dream theory is how he does it. Theory. I'm not fucking playing the Matt Pat clip. Alright, here I fucking subvert your expectations just how the movie did. At the end of the day, a lot of things in this movie feel forced. A lot of things in this movie didn't need to happen. I kind of genuinely wished we got a movie set in the same time. Alright, here's my pitch. Set in the same time. Still follow Josh Hutcherson as Mike and his sister Abby. I do like how the movies have different lore, and they're actually making a cohesive lore. I don't know where they're going with it. Okay, he might be Henry Emily's kid. He might be Henry Schmidt's kid. William Afton knows him somehow, and he killed his brother, and there's a lot of open-endness to that, okay? And I'm very excited to see it. I love Vanessa being his daughter. Okay, I thought that was a really cool twist that fucking blindsided me. I was like, huh? In the theater. The FNAF fandom is just something you'll never please. Because the FNAF fans you once had are grown up and they want a psycho gore fest. They wish these kids got brutalized and they wish they got to see that. They wish they got to see these kids stuffed in suits. Shit that you see off the VHS tapes I voice act in. New FNAF fans want stuff for funny little edits and TikToks and, oh, he's so autistic, I love him, you know, like, I'm autistic, okay, get over it. Fucking, that's just how it is. And I have no issue with that, it's just that it's impossible for this franchise to succeed if we can't come together and agree to disagree on things. You're allowed to have headcanons. I'm allowed to have opinions. If you think this character can do this, or is this, or has something about them, I can say safely, that Blumhouse's Five Nights at Freddy's movie is heavily blinded by your nostalgia to a franchise you know and love, and a franchise that you won't let go. Even when Scott himself, the creator, the god of Five Nights at Freddy's, is done. He's tried to retire over and over again. Even Markiplier. Watch him play Security Breach. Watch him play Ruin. Watch him play Help Wanted 2. They're drained. I love FNAF, and I want to see FNAF thrive. But you can tell what I mean about the whole TikTok modernized FNAF thing with Security Breach. And you could tell they understand where they messed up with that, and they made Ruin, which was a genuine improvement, and it made FNAF amazing again. And Help Wanted 2, oh my god, if you don't think I don't like that game, watch my series, it's amazing. But again, the Five Nights at Freddy's movie is wildly ridiculous, and I love it. I do. But it is not a Five Nights at Freddy's movie. After seeing this movie one of the times in theaters, a mother hit her son in the back of the head. This is no joke, and this is not a violence thing. She fucking, tapped him on the back of the head. She's like, I'm never letting you pick a movie ever again. That was the dumbest shit I've ever watched. You said it would be scary. And I was like, ma'am, don't ever fucking put your, don't do that. And then in the back of my head, I'm like, that's how audiences feel about this movie. As a FNAF fan, obviously we're gonna look at this with rose-colored glasses and love it to death. But as someone who's never experienced FNAF, how are they supposed to like it? And a lot of people went to see this movie just to make fun of it. It broke records, and I'm glad it did. I'm so excited for that sequel because I know that they will keep their promise on making an actual horror movie. Don't take this to heart. Don't dive bomb this video. I hope you can agree with what I have to say. I'm autistic, and I love movies, and I love FNAF. One day, it'll all coexist equally. Good night, Tri-State Plaza.